My name is Keven and this video is called Deceive. Deception is our inability or unwillingness to discern the truth. And since no person possesses all the truth, we all live with some measure of deception. Self-awareness is a spiritual awakening whereby we incrementally perceive our own deception. To lack self-awareness is to abide in self-deception. Deception, like truth, is an infinite continuum, not a binary state. Truth is not a thing to possess like learning. It is a way of seeing. Deception is also a way of not seeing or perceiving. It's blindness. Seeing implies action and navigation, and therefore our self-deception is seen in our failure to either apprehend or apply the truth. Every problem in the world is therefore a truth problem, or said another way, it's deception. The whole world is deceived. Let that sink in. Now, we understand deceit as something a person or an institution does to another, like what a politician does to his or her constituents. Looking closer, there's a much more common form of deceit, that of self-deceit. Our self-deception begins as children, and no child knows who he or she truly is. Instead, our imaginations, our desires, our environments mold us into an external version of the self, which we either accept or reject. And throughout life, we entrust ourselves to institutions which give us validation in exchange for their version of the self. Self-deception, or not knowing oneself, potentiates socially through every institution of the family, our peers, religion, education, business, career, arts, or hobbies. Self-deceit is easier to see in others, and this comparison reinforces our assumption that we know ourselves. But most people only know a surface level self, what I call a pseudonym. We live in a fictional life, and we just go around as empty shells, fulfilling various roles, filling our days with distractions, anesthesia, and pretense. We are hopelessly stuck. We have no conception of who we are, apart from what Paul calls rulers, authorities, cosmic powers over the present darkness, and spiritual forces of evil in heavenly places. Liberation takes wisdom, and many offering authenticity require payment, like the ferryman, but leave you just as lost upon another institutional shore. And Jesus warned about this dire trap. He said, "Let them alone. They are blind guides. If the blind lead the blind, both fall into the pit." So what are we to do? How can we be saved or made authentic? How do we find ourselves? The darkness of self-deception is displaced by the light of truth. New wineskins of truth must displace our old, small frameworks of understanding. Removing deceit is always a deconstruction project. Our pseudonym, our fake ID, its affections and attachments will all have to die. The path up is actually down. Out is through. Our first indication of liberation is our loss of certainty. It's when new questions emerge which relocate us to the periphery of our institutions. Deceit screams to us on the inside, think of all we will lose. And salvation reminds us, haven't we lost enough? The kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls, who on finding one pearl of great value, went and sold all that he had and bought it. The reconstructed you that's found on the other side, just like that pearl, is totally worth it.